Deep within your modern skull, a primal hunter trembles. A ghost of who you were screaming to be free of this glass cage. You feel it too, don't you? That silent, suffocating exhaustion where you chase shadows that have no mass until you crumble. But it wasn't always like this. Before we built these prisons of concrete, we were kings of the endless savanna. Enter Homo erectus, the upright one. Our vaster, longer-living ancestors who didn't just survive, they conquered. 1.9 million years of existence, a timescale that dwarfs our own fragile history. Look at their hands, rough, powerful, designed to grip reality, not reflections of it. While your fingers dance on glass, theirs gripped weapons of survival. The human body, their body, was built for the long pursuit, an endless marathon. Millions of pores on our skin, cooling our engines as we track the greatest beasts under a relentless sun. They didn't run water, they ran persistence, until the prey collapsed from sheer exhaustion. But look at you now. You have optimized everything except your own purpose. We traded the vast savanna for a suffocating desk and the heavy, tangible burden of survival for an invisible mental overload that is grinding you down. How did these former preys become the apex of the world? By mastering a weapon of cosmic power. Once, we were the hunted, hiding in the shadows of giants, shivering as lions and hyenas ruled the dark. But then, a new sound broke the silence of the ancient world, the steady, deliberate rhythm of creation. Homo erectus did not just find stones, they envisioned a purpose within the raw rock, shaping it to their will. The Acheulean hand axe, a masterpiece of symmetry, a tool that changed everything. Meanwhile, your modern hands tremble over plastic keys, shaping digital illusions. Spreadsheets that hold no weight, yet crush your spirit under a mountain of invisible demands. With their new tools, our ancestors stopped running away and turned to face the monsters of the plains. Even the mighty rhinos and towering elephants were overcome by the upright hunters. The hierarchy of the wild was shattered forever. We ascended to the top. But their most devastating weapon wasn't the sharpest stone, it was the very thing that is slowly killing you today. The secret wasn't speed, nor was it sharp fangs. It was something far more terrifying, a brutal, relentless patience. We became the ultimate trackers through the marathon of death. When the sun scorched the earth and other predators sought the cool shade, Homo erectus kept moving. We tracked the great herds, step by agonizing step, pacing them, pushing them, never letting them rest. This is persistence hunting, and it is etched deep into your DNA. Now look at your daily commute, rushing for the closing doors of a train, heart pounding, sweat on your brow. Your body thinks it is tracking a beast, but there is no savanna here. Only concrete, steel, and a schedule that you simply cannot outrun. The ancient prey would eventually stumble, its heart giving out under the sheer pressure, providing life and relief to the tribe. The hunt would finally end. But your modern hunt, it never stops. You chase numbers, phantom goals that evaporate the moment you touch them. You are running a marathon where the finish line constantly moves. And the tragedy of the modern era is that your prey never falls. It is you who is broken down. Every day you track phantoms, wealth, status, the endless deadlines. You hurl your energy at ghosts that simply vanish, leaving you empty. When the ancient hunt ended, the tribe rested. Muscles softened. The adrenaline faded into the quiet hum of the evening wind. But you You click send on the final task of the day, only for a dozen more demands to immediately light up your screen. The alarm bells in your brain never stop ringing. Your nervous system is trapped in a permanent state of emergency. You are freezing in fear under the crushing weight of a predator you cannot even see. This is the mismatch, a primal machine forced to run on a treadmill without an off button until the mind bends. A sudden, heavy wave washes over you. The walls close in. The air grows incredibly thin. A heavy burden drops on your chest. But our ancestors survived the harshest epochs because they were never alone. They stood shoulder to shoulder against the vast, terrifying dark. While you are drowning in isolation, surrounded by 8 billion people. The true mark of greatness is not the beast you bring down. It is what you do with the harvest. For the longest time, history painted them as brutish beasts, driven only by hunger and rage. But the ancient bones tell a different, far more beautiful truth. An elder, missing all his teeth, unable to chew the tough provisions, would have quickly perished alone. Yet, he survived for years. How? Because the apex predators of the savanna showed profound mercy. They shared the softest marrow, feeding the weak, protecting the broken. Empathy was their true survival strategy. But look around you today. In a world overflowing with resources, the ancient bond is shattered. You walk past fallen figures on the freezing pavement, eyes glued to a screen. The modern tribe does not share the marrow, it hoards it in digital vaults. We traded genuine connection for a cold, individualistic race to the top. But that primal compassion didn't just emerge from the dust. It was forged around a magical, dangerous force, newly stolen from the gods. For millions of years, the setting sun was a death sentence. The dark belonged to the fangs in the claws. We cowered in silence, until one courageous soul reached into the ashes of a lightning strike and carried a piece of the sun into our caves. The keeper of flame. Fire pushed the monsters back. It baked our provisions, softening the burden of digestion, funneling vast energy straight to our growing brains. Around this radiant core, the tribe found an absolute sanctuary. But look at your modern fire. You hold it in your hand every night, the cold, hypnotic blue glow of a screen. It doesn't keep the monsters away. It invites them in. The anxiety, the comparisons, the endless noise pouring directly into your exhausted mind while you sit entirely alone. The ancient fire nourished the body, shielding us from the freezing void. Your blue fire drains your spirit, pulling you deeper into the cold isolation. We learned to control the blaze, but now the blaze controls you. Yet, the true miracle of the ancient flame wasn't what it did to the body, it was what the fire did to the invisible space between us. As the flames danced, pushing the freezing night away, we didn't just sit in silence. Lips moved, throats hummed. A new rhythm emerged from the glowing embers. We crafted sounds into meaning. We shared the pursuit, the fear, the triumphs. Around that radiant circle, the very first human stories were born. Laughter echoed against the stone, weaving scattered individuals into an unbreakable tapestry. A shared mind, a shared soul. But what of your stories today? You cast your voice into an infinite, hollow digital canyon, hoping for an echo, a notification, a tiny, glowing symbol of approval. Thousands of abstract thumbs pointing up, thousands of painted hearts. Yet your room remains entirely silent. No laughter strikes the walls. You are connected to millions, but you have never felt so desperately unseen. The ancient tribe built an empire of empathy, armed only with spoken words. And with that shared spirit, They stopped simply surviving the environment. They looked at the freezing, hostile world and decided to bend it to their will. The Ice Age descended, a freezing epoch that should have erased us completely, but we refused to be victims of the falling snow. We took the hides of fallen beasts and wrapped ourselves in their stolen warmth. We didn't just adapt to the environment, we began to build our own. Branches, stones, and heavy skins arranged around a central fire. The very first architecture, a sanctuary of warmth against the howling white void. Now look at your modern fortress. Walls of concrete, steel, and insulated glass, sealing you away from the elements. You are perfectly safe from the snow, yet why are you shivering? The temperature is controlled, but the cold has seeped directly into your spirit. An emotional winter. The ancient hut was small, but it held a tribe, breathing as one. Your high-rise apartment is vast, yet echoes only with your own hollow footsteps. We built shelters to protect the human connection. You built boxes to isolate yourself from it. But the land was no longer enough. Standing at the edge of the world, our ancestors looked upon the impossible barrier. The ocean, a roaring, impossible abyss that promised certain defeat. But the minds that conquered the savanna refused to turn back. They bound wood and vine. They built vessels of hope and launched themselves into the terrifying, chaotic deep. They held fast to one another, riding the monstrous watercolor waves, navigating by the pale stars towards unseen islands of survival. An impossible voyage fueled by sheer, unshakable human will. Now, look at the ocean you navigate today. There are no roaring waves of water, only an endless flood of data, a rising tide of expectations, and artificial urgencies. Our ancestors built rafts to float above the abyss. But you have been given no raft. You are sinking, lungs burning under the weight of 1,000 invisible tasks. They conquered the impossible sea. We are overcome by our own creation. How do we finally breach the surface and breathe again? The final Homo erectus populations vanished long ago, returning to the shifting earth. But they didn't truly leave. Their ancient relics turned to dust, yet their spirit, that primal, unbroken code of endurance, it still rushes through your veins today. You are the ultimate survivor. The mismatch is not your weakness. It is a sign of your dormant power. Look into the dark glass of your cage. Look closely. The exhausted reflection staring back is hiding an ancient king. It is time to stop running the marathon that has no end. It is time to step away from the cold blue fire and remember the warmth of the true tribe. Close the screen, stand upright. The pursuit is over for today. Breathe in the vast, open air of the present moment. Deep within your modern skull, the hunter is finally awake. And this time, he is not hunting for phantoms. He is hunting for peace. Protect your flame.